Congressman, good to see you again. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you to you also.
All right, so this is the craziest wild card that I've seen of this year. Let me kind of play this out. Well, technically, it will be 2021. So right now, she's probably got about a 6-vote majority in the House. She's got 3 of her current members that are saying they're definitely not voting for her. And she's got 2 over the weekend, incoming members, that said that they refused to say that they were going to vote for her. Now, here's the deal. If members don't show up because they're afraid to travel, they're in quarantine, they have COVID, she potentially could lose the vote to become Speaker. Is this something that you are monitoring and keeping an eye on?
Absolutely, Sean. But I have to tell you, I am so fond of running against Nancy Pelosi that I might vote for Nancy Pelosi. I think she is a great figure for the other side. But I'm just joking. But yeah, I think she's in trouble.
Well, I'm not.
Well, Congressman, we're not. I mean, it feels like that could be a good strategy for you, because it seems like Nancy Pelosi is just the gift that keeps on giving. And if you get someone like Steny Hoyer in there, I mean, that could be good for the Democrats.
I agree with you. I think she is a lightning rod, and I think she motivates our base. And I think that the best thing that Democrats could do for Republicans is to re-elect her as Speaker. But she has other problems. She has Cedric Richmond has gone to the administration, and that seat won't be filled until after the vote. And so she has a number of issues that are going to crop up. I know that one member is undergoing chemotherapy right now, and he probably doesn't want to be out in public. There's other members. I think there's more than 10 members that when they ran initially and came in the class of the 2018 election, the class of 2019, they swore they would never vote for Nancy Pelosi. So there are some real problems that she has in trying to get to 218.
But in all seriousness, Lindsay and I aren't joking about this, that, there's a potential she could come up short. Do the Republicans have some kind of strategy? I mean, because I actually think if she comes up short and they had to find a consensus candidate, that could actually help the Democrats because she's a lightning rod. She raises a ton of money for Republicans. She epitomizes the left, the socialist left. I mean, should you guys on the right actually think about a strategy to ensure that she does become Speaker?
Well, I think there are people on the right that are thinking about that. I think it would be very dangerous for me to go back to my district if I had voted for Nancy Pelosi. I have to tell you, she's not very popular in eastern Colorado. So it would be there'd be some splaining to do if I voted for her.
Tell them it's for a good cause in the long run there, some strategy. Got to ask about this. The House just passed the COVID relief package bill to increase to a $2,000 a check. You were not in support of this. How likely do you think that the Senate will approve it?
They won't consider this at all. And I said that I would support this if they reduced or took away the pork and funded this $2,000 through the reduction of pork. They didn't do that. They just wanted more and more spending, and it's a typical Democrat strategy. I think what they're trying to do is appeal to voters in Georgia. I think it's very cynical, and it's sad. We're at $30 trillion of debt right now, and to just throw money around like that it's typical Pelosi, frankly.
So, Congressman, I've been around this game for a while. I still can't get my head wrapped around the fact the House voted on a 5,500-page bill, right? What did people think was going to happen? This is what Washington does. This is what the swamp is. A 5,500-page bill that did everything but help people who really need help. I don't understand why no one stands up and says, I'm not going to allow this to go through.
Well, I voted against the bill, and so did a number of other conservatives in the House, and I agree with you completely. And I wish the president had some advisors around him that helped him understand why this was such a terrible bill before he signed it. But I really believe very strongly that this is the kind of bill that we're going to see in the next 4 years under the Biden administration. We had all of, 4 or 5 hours to read this 5,500 pages, which is ridiculous, and it's stuffed with things that we won't even know about for months. It's just terrible legislating.
Yeah. Talking about another bill that's being voted on, the president talked about overriding the NDAA, the National Defense Bill. Obviously, it was unanimous, a bipartisan bill, rather. You said that you would vote no to override the veto. Are you still feeling that way?
I voted no on the underlying bill. I agree completely with the president on his veto of the bill, and I will vote no to override the president's veto. I think this is another bill where the Democrats look at this and say this is a must-pass piece of legislation. We can throw all kinds of things into this bill, and as a result, we have a terrible bill. I am in favor of supporting the troops. My son was in the Army up until a year and a half ago. Feel very strongly that we need to make sure that the troops are paid and trained and given the weapons they need to be successful. That's not what this bill does. What this bill does is help out Pakistan and help out all kinds of countries around the world, and again, not focused on making America the priority.
You know, Congressman, I'll leave you with this. I think that at some point the GOP needs to find its way. I think we can help people in need. We can do the right thing. But as you pointed out, there are only a handful of folks, and what they do, and you just mentioned it, they jam you, they jam the president, they jam all these folks and say, you know, it's 5,500 pages or nothing, right? we're gonna do this. And what happened? Who got taken care of? $600 per person, and yet you jammed everybody. I mean, not you, but they jammed everybody else. This is not a way to do business, and this is the frustration with what goes on in Congress, and I hope you'll continue to fight this.
I absolutely will, and I appreciate Sean and Lindsay having me on so I could talk about things like this. I think it's so important that the American public knows just how swampy this place is and make sure that in 2 years, actually in just a few days, they vote the right way in Georgia, but in 2 years, we get the opportunity to right this ship.
Well, hopefully you guys can use this time to put together a concrete plan to sell the American people and tell them, if you give us the honor of leading you again in the House, we will do real concrete thing and cut out the shenanigans. Congressman Ken Buck, if I don't see you again, have a very happy New Year, and thanks for coming back on.
Thank you, Sean. Good to be with you, Lindsay.